All right, if you've clicked on this video, you know exactly what this is going to be about here. We are going to be quitting Marvel Strike Force, retiring from Marvel Strike Force, hanging up the MSF fleets, whichever phrase you want to attach to it. Either way, we ain't going to be logging in no more. This pertains to MSF here. We'll go through the reasons why I'm making this decision here. I want to make this quick. I don't want to make this a long, drawn-out video. And then we'll also talk about what the future of this channel is going to look like as well. But if I were to put an overarching theme to everything, I would say just two words: not fun. Like, this game is just ultimately not fun anymore, if you ask me. The content, it's so cookie cutter now, right? It's very cookie cutter. They're telling you exactly where to use everything. And I was hoping that with Cosmic Crucible being introduced, you know, a year ago, months ago, whatever, right, that would have been an outlier, that based on what you had to build for your raids, for what you had to build for war, or what you had to build for Scourge events, whatever, that there would be an overlapping, which there is, but they've definitely doubled down on the cookie cutter crap by telling you, hey, Masters of Evil is supposed to be able to beat Wakandans, is primarily built to beat Wakandans, because of course with Darkhold, they were able to beat Wakandans, and they had to course correct that by putting in the negative stats. And then of course, Tangled Web, Eternals, you need to use your new warriors if you want the optimal matchup, and they're just going to continue to compound and do this all over and over again. And that has just been a large part of my frustration, on top of the fact that they've done it everywhere else already. This game there's been less creativity given to the players in regards to what they can do, right? Doom raids, you have to use Bio Team, Mystic Team, all this. Like, you have to use the specific teams that they create to be able to do that content. And I just largely think that it's not fun. And as we talking about raids, we saw what they did with the Web Warriors for the Bio raids, right? It was the Web Warriors were killing Doom 2. Overtuned for Doom 2, right? And then you bring them into Doom 3, they almost like penalized us for, I guess, them making them too strong, and gave you a specific counter to the Web Warriors in the Doom raids. And they're doing the exact same thing essentially with the Bionic Avengers, although they weren't doing that well in Doom 3 either, at least at the higher tiers. But now they are completely countered in the Incursion raids, so they're gonna probably sell you that solution to be able to fix that problem. That has been a major issue, if you ask me. It's because this game has become so cookie cutter, no creativity, and I just think that that's largely not fun. Another thing that's not fun is that they think that the only new content in this game is new characters. Seriously, the only fun in this game is new characters. That's pretty much essentially all it is, right? It's new characters. They're barely doing any reworks anymore, so it's pretty much all these new characters that then they sell you that is specifically for a problem that they have already created, whether it's Cosmic Crucible, whether it's Alliance War, whether it's wherever. Like, they're specifically selling you that in order for you to be able to use it in a specific area. Largely not fun. Instead of actually creating these events and making the events having some nice unique components, some actual challenges that are not too challenging, but some actual challenges, they're just kind of just creating and releasing these new characters, and then of course telling you exactly where to use them. And I want to talk about the Incursion events, because I was asked a specific question about the Incursion events by somebody over at Balance Entertainment here, and I don't want to call them out, and I also understand why they were asking these questions, but it frustrated me a little bit, and it kind of helped to propel me to leave this game, which was, they asked me, hey, can you tell me about the Incursion events? Like, what did you like about it? The events for the invaders, right? Those new events. They were just like, hey, what did you like about it? And first of all, they said, what do you like about it? They didn't even ask me what I didn't like about it. They said only positive things. And so that took me back a little bit here. And I was like, the only thing I really like about it is that we got some extra rewards, right? And then they were just like, bro, the rebuttal was, man, how, like, is that it? Like, what about the fact that you were able to get a 3-star character and then a 4-star character if you grinded? And I was like, you're packaging it differently, but the end result in this is the same. It's either a 3-star character or a 4-star character if I super grind. Now, of course, we know that the 4-star characters now are if you spend, but I was trying to make a point here. I'm like, you're packaging it differently. and the end result is ultimately the same, where most players are only getting that 3-star character. So how excited am I supposed to be about that? On top of the fact too that you also have to get new characters and build new characters in order to be able to use to get through the event. So for me, I was just like, bro, I don't necessarily know how I'm supposed to be over the top excited about it when you're just giving it to me in a different package. And that leads me to talk about other events, right? The events don't feel rewarding anymore. They feel like a massive chore. I gotta log in to collect. First of all, you have to hoard crap, which they've kind of changed it up a little bit now, but you have to hoard your raid credits, you have to hoard training ores, you have to hoard gold, it's just, and you have then the blitz events, like the events where you have to log in and blitz every 2 hours to do 4 or 5 rotations, depending on where your roster level is. I just didn't find that to be fun. And one of the things that frustrated me with blitz is that Cerebro said it was a staple of the game. And Cerebro's a nice guy. Don't get me wrong. Once again, not targeting anybody here, but man, dude, what the hell? It's a staple of the game? Do they understand how much players hate blitz? How the F is that a staple of the game, dude? These antiquated game modes, they gotta get rid of them, man, and bring in something that's fresh and new, right? And then don't make that cookie cutter, but bring in something that's fresh and new that excites players. What happened to Avengers Tower? Like, when is that coming back, right? Pocket Dimension, there should be more of those things happening in the game. But then again, these events are such large screen time sinks, where this month-long event, and then you have this event that ties to that event, and then that event that ties to this milestone and this milestone. So it's like, bro, maybe I'm asking for things that's gonna screw you guys over in the end. But ultimately, let's be real. Do you feel like you're logging in because you're actually looking to have fun, or do you feel like you're logging in ultimately out of obligation? Because I feel like that's essentially what I was doing for the past basically year. I was logging in out of obligation. I'm logging in because I need to do this for this month-long event. I'm logging in because I don't want to let my alliance down, because I gotta do the alliance war attacks. I gotta log in for raid attacks. I gotta log in to collect campaign energy at the specific time. I gotta log in for the store because I can't miss out on this. Bro, like certain things, like I don't even have red stars yet on Quicksilver, which is crazy. But it's just like a lot of us, if we're being honest with ourselves, we're logging in out of obligation because we've been playing the game for so long, because of our alliance, because of this or that. But it's not really necessarily because of fun anymore in Marvel Strike Force. Their greed is excessive. Character offers are more expensive, but at the same time, you're not necessarily getting the same value. And I've said this a lot of times. I'm like, they've given you less value for your money. Before, you used to spend $50 on a character. Let's say that, right? $50 on a character, and you knew that you were going to be getting a 5-star based on the event. Now you spend $50 on a character, and depending on the event, you may only end up with a 3-star because the event may be super grindy, although that's very rare. But you may still only end up with that 4-star character, although you're spending the $50. So essentially, you're getting less value for your money. And you might argue with me and say, well, lower star characters can now do in-game content. I'm attaching value to what the end result is the actual star value that you were getting on those characters. You're getting less stars than what you were getting before, while you're spending the same amount of money or more money, or you're spending money and then having to grind away in terms of your time as well in order to be able to get to that end result. And to me, I just think that the balance is off. They are making this game largely whaley and crackety. Like Dolphins probably, there's no really value offers for Dolphins anymore in Marvel Strike Force. And because they've widened the gap for whales and Krakens, and the whales and the Krakens are going up against each other, and then you have the free-to-play, the Dolphins, Light Spinners are going up against each other, the competition is not healthy across the board, where it should be more evened out. And because you're doing that, the whales and Krakens are burning each other out, and then the free-to-play, the Light Spenders, they're getting less interested, like I have, right? So that's pretty much basically what's going on in the game. There's the excessive bottlenecks. They've introduced Gear Tier 18, while G17 and 16 for some are still bottlenecks. Definitely 17 is a bottleneck for sure. There's the gold, there's the blue ISO 5. Like, I think it's crazy that we're a year and a half in, and I don't know, there are players who are not even close to being able to get Big Boy Apocalypse, right? Like, not even close to being able to get Big Boy Apocalypse, and we're a year and a half into this year-long event for that character. It's absolutely insane. I've talked about the beginner experience before. There's no real catch-up mechanics other than the spending offers, like the time heist offers. That's essentially pretty much all that there is for catch-up mechanics. Now, there are some I don't want. There are some that are there, but it's kind of like baked in. It doesn't really stand out as being a real catch-up mechanic. So for me, I said that there's no real catch-up mechanics other than really the blatant spending in order to be able to get, and of course, it's an excessive amount of spending to be able to do that as a new player as well. Bugs upon bugs upon bugs. Of course, there's been multiple reports of bugs, things that they should change, things that they don't change until too late, things that benefit the players, they change it really fast. I could go on and on. I'm gonna stop here, guys, because honestly, I could go on and on. I don't want to rage. Because ultimately it's not worth my energy anymore. We are done. But as it pertains to the future of this channel, what we're gonna be doing here. So I don't want to lose this channel, but I also don't think I'm going to go back to doing any sort of mobile gaming on any channel or gaming on a channel again. I just think that the amount of time that it requires, it's very excessive. So we are going to be rebranding the channel. For some of you who've already subscribed to our Keeping It Comic channel, where we cover the Marvel, the DC lore, the sci-fi comic lores, where we do the TV, movie show breakdowns, where we talk about character analysis, we talk about theories, character theories, things like that. We are going to be rebranding this channel to cover that content on this channel instead of getting rid of it. So we're going to be closing down the other one, and we're going to be rebranding this channel so that we can, like I said, I don't want to lose this channel, be able to use it. So for those of you who are still interested in that kind of content, obviously you can stay subscribed. We will probably start putting out new content on this channel here, probably the beginning of, probably the ending of this week, the beginning of next week. And of course, if you are already subscribed to the channel and you're still subscribed here, you're just going to be transferring over sort of like your views and your eyes where that's concerned. But I want to know what your guys' thoughts are about everything. I mean, where do you stand, of course, mainly on the future of the channel? Like, how do you feel about that? We'll definitely love to hear your feedback. But guys, we're done, man. I think, you know, I try to stick it out for as long as I possibly could. You guys know me already. I was the beginner to mid-game guy. I didn't really care too much about the end-game content. To me, it was just more about just making sure that I could provide value for where I thought the biggest struggle was, the beginner and the mid-game. But it was getting increasingly harder to make content for you guys as well, because everything that you need is at the end game level, right? So that even became a little bit more of a challenge. But I really appreciate the support that you guys have shown me on this channel. I got a lot of love for you guys. You know, I started, for transparency, I started making making YouTube videos because I didn't see any representation for someone like myself making content on Marvel Strike Force, and I wanted to be able to provide that. So it's bittersweet that I'm leaving the game, and also, of course, I wanted to be able to provide beginner to mid-game content because I felt like everybody was talking about end-game stuff. So those are kind of like my big motivators for creating content, and I'm sad to be leaving, but at the same time, I am overjoyed to be able to get to a new chapter in my life as well, where being able to spend more time with family, not having to log in for 3 hours a day on a game, and being able to find time to do other things, like probably go to sleep. I'm looking forward to as well. But I really appreciate you guys. I don't want to end the video because I don't want to stop talking to you, but but of course, if you're gonna stay subscribed to the channel for Keeping It Comic, then you will still see my face here. But it's bittersweet that we're kind of closing the chapter here on Marvel Strike Force. But I appreciate you guys so very much. Much love to you for all the support, for all the content creators that I collaborated with here, for everybody. I mean, everybody who's been watching the videos, man, much love to you guys. I appreciate you. Love you guys much. Y'all be blessed. Y'all be safe. I'll see you guys again.